Yay! Hello, everybody. I am here. I tell you what, it's been so busy lately. And after going out of town to Williamsburg, um, that takes a lot of energy. And the older you get, the longer it takes to get your mojo back. And I'm having a hard time of figuring what to do for the show today. So I pulled together a couple ideas. One of them is going to be question and answer. Ask me questions you might like to know about my quilting, about whatever. And Bonnie is here. But sometimes I'll get in a little creative slump. And doing the 2 shows a week sometimes is tricky because it's like, I brushed my hair this morning, and do you see this clump of hair? It's acting up. Don't make me get the scissors. But anyway, last night we went to my granddaughter's play, and I said, I'll get up. And yesterday I cleaned the house, cleaned the bathrooms. Oh, I was so proud of myself. And so I thought, I'll wake up Sunday morning and an idea for the show will just pop into my brain. And it didn't. So let's see what I pulled together. And I have a question for some of you, so I could use a little suggestions. All right. First thing, let's see who's here. Okay. So, yeah, I get so hard on myself and I think, I don't know what to do for a show today. Well, maybe I'll just go back to bed and pull the covers over my head. That doesn't work. So you see, I'm right here working through this. So anyway, I'm just an average person tap dancing real fast. But hi, Carol, she's here. Hello, hon. Marcia, we were worried about you Thursday, so I'm so glad you're okay. I thought as soon as I get a chance to email, I was going to email you and check on you. So, hi, everybody. Polly is here. Bonnie, how good to see you. Oh, it's so good to see all of you. Cheryl, is that Cheryl Lemon or is that a different Cheryl? Either way, it's exciting. Hello, Jody is here. Hi, sweetheart. I tried to write back email to Jody, and her mailbox was out until Monday, so I understand. So, Jody, let's make this. It is Cheryl Lemon. Oh, wow. Oh, my gosh. Because I was thinking, I need to travel to go see Cheryl now that I've had my most recent booster, and I'm starting to get back out in the world. Oh, it's so good to see Cheryl Lemon. Cheryl Lemon, how wonderful. So Jody's doing fantastic. That's a good sign. You know that she had her little surgery on Friday. Oh, you don't know. We have been on pins and needles for you, Miss Jody. I tell you what, you almost forget how important one person can be in your life. And then when they're going through a rough patch and you're helpless to help them, it really, you feel it. So I'm so glad to see her here. Bonnie is here. I mean, it's been a tough year with some of you. Bonnie had terrible problems with her eyes, and Carol has had a number of stresses on her. Cheryl Lemon, I think it was her father she lost, and that was hard for her. It's been a tough time. And you know what? We're going to pull it together, and we're going to have some fun because you inspire me. All of you do. So, and I just wanted to tell you, a man at the polling place gave me this sticker and said, I'll give you the sticker if you ask at least 3 people, remind them to go vote. So I promised him that I would remind you to go vote. In fact, speaking of voting, Charlene Lawson, How nice to have Charlene Lawson back. So this is a very special Sunday. We have some of the people that mean the most to us here. Our son is here. This is great. And Barbara Smith, Charlene. Now, see, I'm glad I didn't go back to bed and pull the covers over my head. I would have missed all this fun. Oh, it's so good to see all of you. I've got plenty of great ideas coming up for Christmas. And we have one of our members, Diana B., and I are cooking up. Actually, she is leading the way, cooking up remember last year we did a Christmas block of the week? Well, we think we've hit upon another one, and we're so excited about it. So, soon as we get, oh, thank you. I always forget to tell them the thumbs up. And it would be nice to reach a broader audience, So, but y'all are so special. I just love y'all to bits. All right. So, but I wanted to tell you a good thing. Because, sometimes so much is being said, people start to wonder, are elections really true and safe? And they hear so much. Well, almost 70 courts had said, yeah, they're here and safe. There was no evidence of fraud. But I've got my own incident to tell you. Mark and I filed for mail-in ballots because this was a month ago and you never know what COVID's going to do. And we got them in. But then we said you have to have 2 witnesses in North Carolina. And so we found the early voting dates, and Friday, right after work, went right in, voted, no waiting in line. It was wonderful. Saturday morning, 8 a.m., the registrar for voting said your mail-in ballot is now invalid because we had voted in person. So not even 24 hours, only 12 hours. They said, look, the mail-in ballot's no longer valid. So if any of you wonder, does it matter if I vote? Yes, it does. Is it safe to vote? Yes, it is. So go vote so I can keep my sticker that, in fact, I'll put it on now because I've told at least 3 people, reminded them that their vote matters. But anyway, and so there, I'm very proud. All right, we can only do what we can only do. And, I was joking around with the Republican poll workers as well as the Democrat. And the main thing is to vote. And yay, Kathy Klein voted. Yay. Yeah, early voting is so easy. So check your local area, see when the early voting is, avoid the crowds. It's a good thing. We took our mask and wore them while we voted because our local precinct just said politely, if you would honor everyone's health and wear masks. So we did. All right. And it only took us, we were back home in 10 minutes. 10 minutes? So anyway, all right. I went to see my granddaughters play, and I'm really tickled. This was a very shy, quiet granddaughter who has really bloomed into her own. And I'm also proud because Mark and I provided her with acting lessons when we knew that she might be interested in that. And it is so cool to watch. We were glad we could help, but honestly, she has run with it. And so here was her high school program, and it is so wonderful to see her name listed in here, like right there, Charlie Miller. And I have some pictures at Show and Tell to show you. But she even helped write the second play in the act. So it's nice to see her shine. She's in her element. She is the president of the theater group. She just blossomed. And one thing that really meant a lot to me, she got on stage and she acted, but when it came time for the curtain calls and the applause, she stood back and kind of let her classmates shine. I was very impressed with that. So I can't wait to see where this all takes her. We'll see. So I am filled up with grandparent activities down here. And between my grandson's band, they won another first place yesterday, and we're only 1 point from first place for the entire day, not just their category. So, and my grandson, I love it. He says he wants to be in marching band, and I was a marching band geek too. I loved it. And just to see kids, I was telling Mark, between my grandson and in the marching band and my granddaughter in theater, to see kids involved in healthy activities, staying busy, not getting into trouble, that's wonderful. And we need to celebrate it, because sometimes kids have a hard time in some areas, and they live in, with drugs and gangs and stuff. It's harder. So when you see that, support it. And if you can reach out a hand to help somebody who's stumbling along the way, do that. Because we can only try. That's all we can do. So we went to see the play last night. That was wonderful. I did some more long walking, but it was good for me. All right, I got a package in this week that to share with y'all, and I opened up the end of it. This is not exciting. I'll show you what I mean. Because exciting for me to get is quilting fabric. And even though this is technically fabric, it's not for quilting. I have an awning over my side door, and I make the awning covers, because awning covers are expensive. And I got this fabric from Fabric Warehouse, and maybe it was $7.99, around $8. And it is called OurTimeToQuilt, and it is a waterproof canvas. And the only problem is that awning gets direct sun for at least 7 hours a day. So it tends to fade very slowly, but it will fade a little. And then all of the rain and the algae and the mildew. This is a chore. This is heavy, solid fabric. I don't enjoy making the awning covers, but I enjoy saving like $180 making one. So there is the awning fabric. Then I have a swing out back with a cover on it. And my poor cover that I made 3 years ago finally gave up, because the sun does such damage to fabric. You all know that. And so I had to, between that, what finished the cover of it off, because, it's just like, you sit on the swing and it's got this thing above that gives you shade. And I love that swing. I love to go out there pretty much year round if it's a decent day and just swing and just enjoy being outside. We have had the biggest crop of acorns. In fact, my daughter said it's like being on the front lines of a war, because in our bedroom you hear pow, 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 all of the acorns hitting the roof. Well, I went out there yesterday to water my plants and noticed that there's about 20 little holes in the awning cover for it. So here is the new fabric for that awning cover. And the last time I made a cover, because I've only made a cover for it once, it came with a cover. I replaced the cover. I didn't have it tight enough. Well, that's not good because then the water tends to pool there. And the first time I went to knock the water off, it came all over me. That woke me up. So here is the nice taupe fabric. But Fabric Warehouse Direct, I highly recommend it. Much cheaper fabric than just about anywhere. Good service. I ordered it Monday or Tuesday. It was here yesterday. Good. So I like passing on the good word. So, you haven't had many? We've had a ton. We have to go out almost daily and blow off the back deck because they just pelt you. And have you ever been beamed by an acorn that has fallen from a 60-foot tree? It hurts. So I don't know why ours are going crazy. Oh, sounds like a war zone. Oh, gosh, yes. And Cheryl's here. Hello, Art Curious. Hi, Art Curious. Really nice. So, Polly was a band mom too. I tell you what, I was 12 years a band mom. There were days we drove to 4 different states for band well, there was one day that we drove to 4 states for band competition. It was back when I lived in Maryland. So we jumped into Virginia for one, and we had one in Maryland. We had one in Delaware, and maybe one just in Pennsylvania. I don't know, but it was too much. So, but we tried not to miss a single performance or competition. I can't promise that to my grandson, but I'll at least go to a couple. So anyway, but gosh, Cheryl's here. This is wonderful, everybody. How big will the awning be? Can you Scotch guard it? The fabric's already treated, but I do have some Scotch guard, and I'll check with the manufacturer and see if putting extra Scotch guard could help, because that would be nice. That would be very nice. So I think those fabrics, it was 3 yards of one and 2.5 of the other. It was about $50. That included the shipping. That's much cheaper than you can buy one for. The awning over my swing is 6 feet long by about 30 some inches wide. So that's why I got 3 yards of 60-inch fabric for that one. So, and I'm just going to take the old one off, make a pattern from it, but decrease the area where it tried to dip. So anyway, then the other day, I've got to tell you, I started to clean my room, didn't get very far. I found myself getting really frustrated, and I thought, I'm 66 years old. I don't have to get frustrated. So I quit and went upstairs and did something fun. So what has been so much fun lately has been working with these dolls. And I have a feeling I'm not going to want to stop anytime soon. And here is hold on, her name is Queen Grimzelda. I have to try to remember how to say it. And she's got her basket of apples here and her broom. And I added a little bit to Grandpa Jones, a.k.a. Fred Mertz. I added some great big eyebrows, and then I put his glasses on a little more sturdily. So here is Grandpa, and I finished his vest on him. So I need to make him some shoes, but these are and find something for him to hold on to. These are moldable dolls because I just stuck wire. I just had it here. Let me see if I can find it. Here it is. Oh, I thought that was it. Maybe not. Anyway, you can buy armature wire at a craft store, or just get whatever wire you have, and you just put it down in the bodies while you're stuffing them, and then it makes them it makes them moldable. And that's what I can do with her arm. And then I'll bring this arm up with the basket of apples. So what fun. This is for our Thursday night art quilt night. And I think it's a hoot. I think it's a hoot. So I'll put these over to the side. When I knew I was going to see my daughter last night. Mark said, "Why are you taking those dolls with you?" Got to show Becky. So I've never made little dolls. I made Cabbage Patch for my daughters 40 years ago. Man, I'm old. And this one, I just love how fancy she is, but she needs her wings. So the other day I came down, was supposed to clean the room, and instead I spent time working on the wings. And I took the Angelina fibers that I had made into a sheet, and I backed them onto a pale teal light organza, and I put a little paint on them just so they have a little interest. I zigzagged around the edges that really pretty ribbon, and I put a wire down the middle so that I can, arch it to fit on her. But I'd like to have the wings moldable. And don't forget, if you have any questions, like I zoomed right in on Monkey Mary's, because if you put them in all capitals, it's easy for me to spot it and see that you're asking me a question. So it's so great. Michelle Lang is here. Oh, I love my Michelle. Oh, I'm so lucky. Carol made the Cabbage Patch for her daughter. Oh, Carol sent me some amazing photographs. And Carol, I hope you got my email back. I missed the stuff you had written, and I was like, oh no. So I wrote right back as soon as you said, did you get that? So, homemade Mod Podge. I love that idea. Feel free to share anything with us. And if any of you want to make a video of something that you're doing and you can send me that video, I will play it on here. I would love to promote your hobbies, your interest, all of that. So with pictures or videos, email them to me and I will highlight what you do. I love it. Just glue and water. Wow. $1.25. You can't beat that. You can't. And you can buy now the Elmer's glue all is what I prefer over school glue. But you can buy it in a gallon the price has gone up a little lately, but it's like $14. I highly recommend it. It'll last you a year. So at least. All right. So you did a mouse with Carol? Oh, aren't her mice the cutest things in the world? I have some to show you. Carol is so talented. And anytime Carol wants to do a segment for us or anything, and in fact, don't forget, The Magical Touch. Check out her YouTube channel. Very talented lady. Okay, your granddaughter is spending time with them before we move. Oh, you're spending time with your, oh, that'll be hard. They're in Austin. Oh, that's hard. That's a long way. Well, please tell your granddaughters we said hello. And if they want to give us their first name, I'll give them a shout out online. That's wonderful. Yes, please visit Miss Carol's website. So talented. Oh, Linda McCollum is here. Hi, sweetheart. What a great day. How in the world can I be overwhelmed on a great day like this? This is, her mice. Wait till you see her mice. Up until now, Linda McCollum's little mouse had totally won my heart. but I've just asked that cute little mouse to move over, and because he's got 2 new sisters. And wait till you see him. You'll understand what I mean. And I hope I still have her little mouse picture, because the felted mouse Linda made was so cute. You just wanted to hug him, even though he's probably little. And wait till you see Carol's mice. So I'm going to pull the camera down and show you what I'm going to try to do, because here are the wings for, let me see this side. Here are the wings, actually this side up. Here are the wings for my fairy doll. And what I need to do, and I had to pull some decorations off her back. I'll put the wings on, then I can put the decorations back on. But what I took and put, you know, the couple layers of Angelina backed by a thin organza. I took and zigzagged the edges to try to give it a little stiffness. And for one more reason. So let me bring, you would love to learn felting. Believe it or not, Polly, I have some felting supplies. But I tell you what, Miss Linda is amazing at it. I bet you Carol knows how to felt. My daughter is a felt artist. So she gave me, Mark said that this joint works, I'm just not tightening it right. So let me see. Hope he's right. Huh? I guess he is right. Darn it, he's right about that too. Okay. So now, here is my little needle. I got my needle and thread ready. And since I'm sewing, I'm going to sew wire onto the edges of the wing. I'm going to make a double thick thread. Okay? And just tie a knot. I'm going to tie 2 knots because I don't know how difficult this wire is going to be to work with. I had a jewelry wire upstairs, but it just wasn't thick enough. So I grabbed this galvanized steel wire, which is not my favorite thing to use. I'm coming on to the back of the wing. This is the front of, let me make sure I've got it right. Whoops. Nope, I had it wrong. This is the front. It's real iridescent. So I'm going to put this wire on the back of the wing. So Mark took the camper this morning to fill it with gas. How would you like to have the diesel bill of $307.75? That was this morning's diesel bill. So the good thing is that will last us all season. But you can't it's not good to have an engine. Now I'm going to take it. Let me try to bend this over so it'll stay in place and hold. I think I forgot to bring my pliers down. I did. Okay. Let me bring this. I want to fold this over. Boy, this is harder to use than the armature wire. Armature wire is very bendable. So when I get my pliers, I will put this all the way down. But I'm just going to take and kind of couch it on along the back edge of this wing. And that's why I wanted to put a zigzag stitch and this yarn around the edge so I would have a really good surface on which to zigzag the wire. Because I want these wings to be posable. I think that would really, I want them to look like they really belong to her, not just a prop that I glued onto her back. Okay, so I'm not going to do the whole thing today, and you notice I used matching threads so it didn't show up. When I first started zigzagging the trim on this, I had gray bobbin thread, and when I turned it over, I went, oh no. So I had to put a blue bobbin in and do it all again. Sometimes, even though I've been sewing since I was, 23, 24 years old, I still forget. Now, this long piece is getting on my nerves, so what I'm going to do is make sure I've got enough, and I'm going to try to break or cut it, even though I don't have my pliers. I may have to go get some. Let's see. Well, sometimes if you can take the wire and you bend it enough, it will break for you. But let me see. Okay, got it. All right. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to get a little bit of ways around the edge of this so I can show you the effect that it will have. Now, let me go ahead and start bending this to the shape. There we go. Make it that much easier to sew on. But you know, you look at some of these art dolls and these fairy wings are gorgeous and you think, how in the world do I make something like that? And I've been looking for doll supplies. It's not easy to find doll supplies. These art doll makers make their own, come up with their own ideas. So, and I like it that way, but I always want to make sure that if you try something like this, you can do the basics and not be stranded. So that's my goal. All right, and then I'm just going to check the other side. You can't see what I'm doing, so that's good. I mean, you know, the thread's not showing up. I noticed in a couple places when I was sewing the yarn around the edge that the Angelina fibers were a little thinner. And so I would take some scraps and lay over it and kind of, I tried heat setting them back down, but you just have to be careful because sewing around the edge does put stress on it. All right, so here we go. Here is the piece that has the wire, okay? And this is going to be the top of the wing. So, do you see what I can do with it now? And if you notice, the wire is not that noticeable. So, and it's wired right here. So once it's wired all the way around, I will put it on her back and like this. And then I can fold this wing. I mean, I could do pretty much anything once that wire is in there. Okay? And with the wire going around, it has to go around the entire ring, and I will attach it here. Then, because this fabric is very, very delicate. So, and I even brought down some ultra-fine glitter, but I don't know. I think the wings are pretty good. This, well, even this side's pretty sparkly. So I don't think I'll need this, but I thought just in case, because when you have a fairy doll, she has to just sparkle. So now you just see how easy it is. Whoops, where's my needle? Okay. How easy it is to take and stitch this wiring. Now, if you're good enough with a sewing machine, then sure, do it with the sewing machine. But I get a little nervous sewing around wire because I don't want to. You know, you can break a needle, but then you can also throw off the timing. So I said, you know what? I love hand sewing. I will just hand sew. So now my thread's getting very short. So I'm just going to work it up through, back through like this. And then I will pull it out and start a new thread. And I don't want a big knot showing on this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, when I get my needle rethreaded, I will start back here and finish sewing. And that way I know it's secure. But I love, look at that. There's just so much you can do with that wing once the wire gets in. And I also thought, if this starts to feel too delicate, I wonder if I could Mod Podge it. So maybe Bonnie would know the answer to that. So felting is not too expensive to start. The wool can be a little pricey, so if anybody ever offers you some little bits and ends of theirs, take them up on it. And there's a type of sponge that people use to do the felting on, which allows the felt to go allows the wool to felt to itself. Now, there are two different kinds of wool felting. There's needle felting, and then there's also wet felting. And wet felting, my daughter does, she takes and, like netting, lays down, puts wool on, and then puts soapy water on it, warm, and then puts netting over the top, and then you just rub and rub and scrub, and it works the fibers in together so that then you've turned it into unwoven fabric, okay? But if you do felting, needle felting, you have to have like a very dense sponge, and the needle is a group of needles, and you just constantly, you lay things on, you prick them, and it weaves them together. But now we've got Linda here. She could tell you everything about it. You could Mod Podge, but you were afraid it would overtake the luminous look. Oh, good point. Thank you, Miss Linda. You can't tell the difference. Okay. Wet felting, of course, is going to be messy, but you can do a large piece at one time. But, now, let's say you buy a used sweater at Goodwill and you want to felt it, throw it in the wash machine with hot water and some little detergent. It'll felt it real good. So wash it for a long time in a lot of water so it gets a lot of agitation. So anyway, because we've all done that. The other things I'm doing this week. Oh, I wanted to tell you. I've been meaning to tell you this and I've forgotten every week. Mancuso is being kind enough to continue its internet or online or at-home classes, because during pandemic we couldn't go to quilt shows. So I have taken some wonderful classes from Mancuso. They have one coming up November 3rd through 5th. I'm going to look into that. And then they've already got one scheduled for the end of January. I'm so excited. These classes are amazing. I don't know if you remember the cow I made, the collage cow out of all purples. And, if I'd have been smart, I'd have brought a picture up for that. But please check out Mancuso Quilt Shows. Go to their site, and I have, let me see if I can grab you the link to it. But I love the online quilt shows because, number one, you don't have to travel and pay gas. You don't have to pay for a hotel room. The downside is, you won't get to see quilts in person. But, hold on, I've just got to copy this. Okay, now I can close that right now. Here we go. Oh, the quilt behind me. Thank you for asking about that. I meant to tell you. This is a quilt I made 2 or 3 years ago. You think the dry needle punch method gets you more detail and you can get the tiny details? Absolutely. My daughter, oh man, I wonder if Mark is upstairs. Hold on just a second, okay? I'll let you look at that Halloween quilt. I found it. Okay, I found it. My daughter Katie is a felting artist like Linda, and she made this for my birthday one year. And it is all felt. And on the back is the undyed felt. And you've heard that the dark lambs, their wool is not as prized as a white lamb. Because with white wool, you can dye it all kinds of colors. So she took the dark wool to use as her base. Now I will show you this up close. All of this is needle felted. And I absolutely love this. I have been meaning to get a shadow box type frame for it. Something wide enough that air can circulate, but I want it protected from the dust. But aren't those hollyhocks amazing? So my daughter is very, very talented. And I think that is absolutely amazing. And she makes landscapes and sells them at crafts fair and online. And I think I've told you before, her Etsy shop name is Pearl, P-U-R-L, and June. But isn't that something? That's what you can do. And this is needle felted. Now, she uses hand needles. She does it. You can buy for a little brief time. They made felting sewing machines. She does hers by hand because she likes the feel and the control that you can do by hand. So Katie Johnson, Katie Starr with 2 R's, Katie Starr. I forgot she got married like 15 years ago. How did I forget that? Anyway, Katie Starr, and she's on Etsy, P-U-R-L and June, Pearl and June. Those were the names of her 2 goats. She also makes goat milk soap, hand soaps and stuff. So she's so talented. Anyway, I thought you might like to see it. You'd like to do it by hand too. You had a felting machine and sold it. Right now, needle felting is all the rage again. You can see roving for sale. Roving is just the soft wool that's been combed and carded, but not woven or spun. And so that's what you use for felting. In fact, remember the bags? I think I've got some of that too. Hold on a second. Let me grab that. I'm getting my exercise today. All right, here it is. I have a wonderful big bag of roving, okay? And in fact, when you card wool and you make one of these, this is called a rolag, R-O-L-A-G, I believe. And it's just when you take and you carding are 2 brushes with like tiny little nails, tiny little ones, and you just pull it and pull it. And what that does is it stretches the wool fibers and makes them lay the same direction. And so then when it comes off that, and if you go to buy these are just, now the word went out of my, what did I call, roving. And now some of these have been partially spun. I love that. Isn't that cute? So I was given all of these scraps. And here's some pure white Rolag. See how the spinner kind of twisted it into a hank? I say spinner, but this is unspun. But I've often thought, oh, I would love to have a spinning wheel and spin. I've tried drop spindling, which is looks like a wooden top. You know the tops that kids used to spin? It looks like that. And so you start spinning, you drop it and have it spinning. And as it's spinning, you thin the wool down into a nice little thread. And like this, because what you do is you want to spin this nice and tight, and that's how you get yarn. And hopefully you don't have too many lumps and bumps in it, but it's kind of a matter of preference. So, but it's really, really, oh, Cheryl's going. Bye, Cheryl, sweetheart. You were late. Jody's here, or she was here. Friday, she had the surgical procedure where they went in to do a lumpectomy. When she came on, I don't know the details of that yet, but she said when she came on, she was great. So let's hope that she got some wonderful news, and we're all cheering for her so much. I hope she can feel the love that we're sharing with her and hear us hollering for her to continue to do so well. So anyway, it's so relaxing to needle felt. That is so true, Linda. Oh, wait a minute. Here we go. Roving is awesome, but you can also fill with thick yarn. I love that you unwind and card. So you undo the spinning, and then you've got the wonderful, more raw-looking wool. I love that. Thank you, Linda. So, guys, if you don't have roving, look around for some yarns that you have and pull them apart a little. And I know for my poodle, her little brush is a card. So I'll just use her brushes, and what you do is you pull them against each other. You put the wool on one of them, and they're like paddles, they're called, and you pull them opposite, and it starts stretching the wool, and it makes all the wool strings, threads go the same direction. Then you can work with it more easily. Oh, that's a great idea. Thank you. Okay, so, boy, this has been fun because we just kind of, we'll just talk about everything today. One thing I have a question for you. This week, I took time to cut up into charm packs my second round of indigo dyeing. And I've decided, and because I think I only had 3 packs left of the first. I sold and gave away the rest. And with these new ones, I have probably 20 charm packs now because I did a bigger batch this time. So what I want to do, I've got a retreat coming up in November, and then I've got Myrtle Beach Quilt Party in January. I want to take these charms and see if people would like to buy them. And I thought, okay, when you go to a retreat or classes, what's the price point that would be good? So what I did is, instead of having 25 pieces per charm pack, I cut it back to 20 pieces per charm pack. Most of them have, each piece is unique. I took and lined up all the different techniques I had done while dyeing them, and I had 20, And then I just would take one from each one to build up the 20 because I wanted them to have as big a variety as I could. So then I decided, okay, 20 pieces, I'll mark them to $10. That way people who are at a class or a retreat can more easily just pull out a 10. Okay, at least that's what I thought. Now, I'm going to have them set up to sell at both places. They have a place where you can bring things, sell our quilt or fabric items that you'd like to sell. What I want to do is make a mini quilt to show them how beautiful indigo fabrics can be in a quilt. I am trying to come up with an idea of a mini quilt, so I don't want it much bigger than 20 by 30. Do you have any kind of ideas? I thought I would use the blue and then use white like I did on Mark's quilt, but I might add in a little touch of yellow just to get the attention. If you have any ideas, my daughter had at least 6, and one, unfortunately, strangled itself to death, got its head caught in the fencing and couldn't figure out how to get it out and then perished. So maybe 5, I guess she has now, somewhere around there. Plus, I think now she just has one goat, Ida. And yeah, it was really sad because it was her most perfect ewe lamb. And it was the Leicester sheep that has all white, wonderful, wonderful wool. And that broke her heart. That did break her heart. So, okay, I'm looking, make sure I didn't miss anything, because I don't, if you missed any, if I didn't answer, you can lose the pattern with cutting. Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, I want to showcase the indigo and have enough white in there to show the difference. I've seen patterns with all indigo fabric, but then it tends to kind of look like indigo soup rather than a quilt. Oh, let me show you. I just happened to bring it down. I'm working on the binding right now. It is the heaviest thing. This will be one of the only possible 2 queen size or king size quilts I ever make. They're heavy. Let me stand back and show you guys. All right, let me get my chair out of the way. Move chair. Mark the other day said, "Is my quilt almost ready?" All right, here we are. But see, this is so pretty. I just love it. And I'll show you the back so you can see the quilting. See the quilting? And you notice, you can see, this is all made with Kona cotton, but you can see the blue through the back, which is why I always say, if you're going to enter a quilt in a show, make sure that your seams are turned to the dark, because they will show. Okay, Myrtle Beach. Myrtle Beach is a quilt party that they've been having for like 40 years, and I've been going 13, I think 12 or 13. Myrtle Beach, I think, made it out pretty good from the hurricane, but we'll see. So just as soon as I finish showing you things today, I thought I would just sit and work on the binding. Here is, the binding is sewn on, and I just roll it and hand stitch it. I like hand doing all my bindings. I feel like that's the reward for making all the rest. So, that It's going to keep him warm. He asked for 2 layers of polyester so he could stay warm. He's going to be warm. But I told him I want to wash it before he starts using it. And don't worry, I'm going to put Synthropol and use a color catcher sheet when I put it in the wash, just in case. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I'm just so excited because I've made him little throw quilts, but this is the first one he asked for. When I was working up the design, he said, oh, I'd love a quilt like that. Well, what are you going to do? So I have all of these scraps. These are pieces that aren't big enough for a 5-inch square. Some of them, well, no, these two were 5-inch squares, but they're so beautiful. I want to showcase them in a miniature. But some of them came close to 5 inches, but not quite. So I just want to make some kind of quilt to kind of show people this is what you can do with your charms, you know? All right. So if you come up with ideas, thank you, Bonnie, for your advice. Oh, now, Linda, that's a great idea, too. I could, a mini Irish chain. Yeah, I guess just to see, I would probably try to see what, these are all such small pieces. But even look at how these died. I'm not sure exactly why. I think because it was kind of crunched up, but I love that. Oh, no, Charlene, honey, I am so sorry. Oh, sweetie. An Irish chain is a pretty good idea. Thank you for that. Charlene, oh. So now what are you going to do, Pumpkin? I'm worried about you. Oh. Okay. I'll show you one more thing and then I will work on my quilt and we can just talk and you can ask me more questions. Oh, we've got to do, don't forget, we've got to do show and tell. I've got some fabulous pictures to show you. Oh, Charlene, I am so sorry. So I want to talk to you about our newest Thursday night art quilt project. And if you were here Thursday, then you know that we're going to take a little bit of a break from the intricate, making dolls and making animal portraits is a lot of work. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a small little break and do something that's easy and fun. Okay? Let me find the thread. I'm going to go ahead and, the other day I loaded some thread, but it was so thin it was kind of hard for it to really show up. So I said, let's use some DMC floss, and that way it will show up. I'm going to use 3 plies of the 6 plies. And, whoops. Now, Bonnie, I know you're probably laughing at me right now, girlfriend. You can see that Bonnie is an amazing cross-stitcher. So she knows how to deal with this stuff much better than I do. I mean, obviously, I have it all stuffed in a Ziploc bag, okay? Miss Bonnie's is all neatly put on beautiful little label or tabs, those little cards. So I'm going to take some of this and let's see if I can thread it. Nope, this end. You always use the end that comes off first because that should be the way that it's wound and spun. And if you always have a problem with something you're sewing by hand with the thread knotting, it's because you probably put the wrong end through the needle first. When I teach people is tell them to leave the thread on the spool until they have put it on the needle. And that way you know you're right. You put it in your mouth to keep it taut. I love that. I love our core intelligence out that tells us do this to help. And hey, that makes perfect sense. All right, so I'm going to put a good size knot in this. And now I'm going to also show you what we're going to do is go to your stash and find a busy fabric. Whatever fabric strikes your fancy. And that's because we're going to embellish an existing fabric. Okay? So now I've got a thicker thread. And even though I don't want you to put the beads on until after you've quilted it, I brought some beads to show you how they'll look. I just grabbed some little beads for this. And this is where I don't know who of you have done the Alex Anderson hand embroidery sew along from last December through the spring. But I found I had missed hand embroidery. And it is so easy to find stitches, stitch patterns free on the internet. So I thought, let's embellish a ready printed fabric. And so I've got this fabric on a hoop just to make it easy. Don't forget, I first took fusible interfacing and ironed it on the back because that will allow me to embellish this without crunching it up or making it bunch up or whatever. But you decide how you want to do it. This is your project. And I've got a hand embroidery needle and I have put the floss in. And I'm just, there's no right or wrong here. You decide what you want to do at any given point. And so this is not even really a stem stitch. It's just kind of a running stitch. And I'm just going to go anywhere and do anything. I'm going to let the fabric kind of tell me what it wants me to do. Then when this is done, I'm most likely going to take an inexpensive picture frame and, inexpensive art canvas, and then I'm probably going to glue it onto an art canvas, and that way I can hang it up. But I'm going to use Angelina fibers. I'm going to use yarns. I'm going to use beading. I'm going to use trapunto. And what I'm going to do trapunto is I'll cut this shape out of some polyester batting. I might cut 2 circles. And then I'm going to put a little touch of school glue on the back of this and put that there. And then I might go to these and cut out half circles, 2 layers. And I might come back and do a circle of this and glue them, dots of glue, school glue on them. Then I'll put the polyester backing behind all of it and my backing fabric. And then when I go around and I do the quilting, it will pop up and come to life. So that's what we're going to do. So I just put a bead on here. And the reason I tell you not to do the beading is because then when it comes time to quilt, you're probably going to be breaking a lot of needles or a lot of beads. Now I'm going to probably try to use some I'm just doing 2 different beads so you can just see. But it's just this easy to bead the fabric. You just run it through. And I do like that gold one better because this has a real classy look to it. So I'll probably use gold and different colored glass beads. Even though that's glass, I think I like the gold better. And I will just decide. I'm probably going to stay with the same, when I do this, I'll use green, this gold, red, I'll use the color that's on the fabric. But I like using the floss because with this 3 strands, you can actually see that I'm doing something. The other day, I took an embroidery thread and let me see, right here, and I started to go around, and it doesn't even, you can't, let me see, right here. You can barely even see it. But now if I wanted to do a very close area where there's a lot of pattern, then that would be fine. But I'm just doing a yellow gold floss on a gold circle. And so this is what we are going to be using. And you can do, like right here on the red, I want to get a metallic gold and do little, what do you call them? French knots. I'll first do some kind of red pattern, probably a zigzag here, and then right where the gold stars are, I'll do a gold French knot. Okay? So just whatever you want to do, just make it fun, and we're just going to, week by week, work on this. And I'm going to go back and look at my glossary of stitches and try different things. I think it'll be a lot of fun. Okay? So just wanted to show you what we're going to be working on Thursday art quilt night. So be looking around for beads. A lot of things. This is the perfect thing for, I get from the dollar store, I get my little eyeglass chains, and they have perfect tiny little seed beads. You might have to have a seed bead needle to put those on, but we're just going to load this thing up. I mean, whatever charms, yarns, if you have any decorative yarns, then thread up a needle with the yarn and sew that on. It's going to be, if you want to put a feather on it, whatever you want, you load it up just the way you want. So that's our Thursday night. We're just kind of, we're kind of going to take a little break, catch our breath. Now, I brought down some, I brought down some ideas of things to come up for Christmas. So if you're going to be at a store, look into buying some flannels that look pretty good like wool, because you might know wools are terribly expensive, but flannels you can get at a pretty good deal. I would love to make these ornaments or gift tags coming up. Starting in November, we're going to start some holiday ideas. And our Diana is going to work on a block of the week like we did last year, where at the end of it, if you can make one block each week, you will have a quilt top. So, but aren't these cute? These are going to be great little things. We're going to use tacky glue or any kind of a thick glue that sticks right away. You can use school glue, but just know you'll have to kind of set on the side and it take longer to hold and dry. Then we're going to do some blanket stitching. I'll show you how to blanket stitch. And if you want to do any kind of decorative stitching, but I think these would be a lot of fun. Now, let's say you don't want to, you want to go even cheaper than flannel. Go to your local quilt shop, Joann's, whatever, and buy the felt sheets. The sheets of felt. They work perfectly. And then that way we can just in the evening sit and cut out these cute shapes. And you notice those were snowmen, didn't you? That is a hint of our block of the week that we're going to start working on. All right. The other day I was looking at something about circles and found this. And it's called 6-Minute Circle. And it is a pinless piecing method for making curves. And what it is, it's like reverse applique. So I will, let me see. Oh boy, I hope it has the internet address. I'll tell you what you do. Let me type it in. 6-minute circles. 6-minute circles. And I forgot the woman's name. But if you type that, she has this free introduction sheet to it. And I just thought, there might be a circle quilt again in my future. So I just thought I would I wish I knew her name. Let me see. The technique learned from Dale Fleming's book, Piece Curves So Simple. Instructions found at HDTV website from Simply Quilts at, oh boy, hdtv.com, crafting piece circles. Ooh. So just type in 6-minute circle. You will be able to find this and just save it in wherever you save your future ideas, because I think that might be coming up. All right, let's get past Christmas first. All right. I think I've talked about everything. I left Cheryl's thing she sent me, and how sweet. I went and had my mammogram this week. So in honor of Jody, take care of ourselves, get those mammograms, and already got my results. And luckily mine's fine, but I got some goodies that I'm going to get ready and mail to Miss Jody. So I was such a good patient that gave me goodies. So I'm going to send that to Miss Jody along with her courage charm that I got her. And I'm going to mail them out tomorrow, I promise. All right, let's go look for some show and tell, because we've got some great things. Oh my gosh, I had a couple ladies just fill me full of good photos. Let me try one thing really quickly. Let me stick this paper. Much better. I always have to hold the camera level, and it hurts my hand. So I stuck some paper in that thing. All right, we're going to go to... Oh, and you know what I'm going to do really quickly? Hold on just a second. Hold on. Oops. Please tell me I didn't do that. Oh, good. I'm going to bring up a website to show you. When we were talking about the dolls, I know of this person who is so good. Let me type his name in. His dolls are amazing. He was a costume designer, and now he's retired and makes art dolls. Is that amazing? Look at that. I love all the detail. And where does he find these things? So let's see. Okay, we're going to look up some gypsy dolls. Look at these. Look at this. Isn't he talented? Now, I think all of his stuff is soft sculpture, but they are just amazing. This is called a candlestick doll. You make them so that they're displayed on a candlestick. I love that idea. These are all soft sculpture. I think the hands are probably polymer clay. Isn't that amazing? So it is possible to do a good soft sculpture face. Now let's go back and let me see. Or just bring this down. But if you contact him, please share that you saw this on Our Time to Quilt. And I wrote to him and told him I was so impressed with his work. And he wrote me right back and thanked me. So I love giving people, the best thing I can ever do is let people know I admire and appreciate what they do. Isn't that amazing? Look at this. These are terrific. And look under the skirt. So look at all these tiny little, here's octopus arms, eyeball, heart. I mean, oh my gosh, look at a brain, a scarab beetle. So this is that witch's arsenal of tricks under her. And this is her right here. Isn't that wonderful? Look at the hands, how expressive. Oh, he is so talented. So his name is Arlie Berry, and he has an Etsy shop as well. Here is his Etsy shop, and he is very talented. He also sells patterns, and you can download them, and that would help you learn to make them. But isn't that amazing? So I'm really, really impressed with his work. And let me copy. Did I already write this? Let me see. But I'm going to copy this so you can easily find his work. Okay, did I already type it on? No, I don't think I did. Nope, so let me put his website. Okay, there we go. That way you can just copy that link and you can go and enjoy his website. All right, let's go see your pictures now. All right, Miss Alexis, I know she's busy with classes, so hopefully we'll see an update of this very soon. She's so talented. I love her stitching. I don't know if you can watch the way that she stitches in a circle and a curve. I mean, her stitches are immaculate. Okay, let's see who's next. Miss Bonnie. Miss Bonnie, so talented, took some orphan blocks that she won from me and has now turned it into a wonderful quilt. I love it. Way to go. It's so nice seeing Miss Bonnie get her mojo back to sewing now that she can see. It's wonderful. And she started reenacting. So she made herself a short coat. Now, I better not say it. But she made herself some costume pieces and borrowed this wonderful blanket cloak. Looks like she's also making a banner for the group that she represents. How wonderful. So thank you, Miss Bonnie. I love seeing that. Okay, Miss Carol, tighten your seatbelts, ladies, because we are going to see quite a show. Miss Carol is so talented, and I think her art has gotten her through the last challenging couple of years. She is so talented. I love this. She is a painter. She's a sketch artist. She is a creator. These are her soul bowls. S-O-U-L, soul bowls. And she has been given little bits and scraps from all over the world. That's where she gets the name. From souls all over the world, that's where she gets the name for her soul bowls. And that's beautiful. And it's a way to celebrate kindness and goodness out there, people's generosity. Oh, Time is a wise man's treasure. How very true. Isn't this wonderful? And there's sayings that she's put on these. Look at the pieces of lace. Oh, just beautiful. Look at this over here. How beautiful. Now, here we go. Look at her mice. Is that the cutest thing? Look at the miniature book she made to go with it. The attention to detail. Oh, look at that. I just love these. It just made me smile so big. I love the ears, and she's gone in with a little paint to color the ears. I just love it. Isn't that wonderful? Ah, look at the hat with the little scissor charm on it and the little scissor holder. Look at all the little touches and pieces. And she took this heavy like a pearl cotton, and then she took and frayed it at the end to make a soft hair. I love her big slow stitching, which is a meditative kind of thing. The hat she made for this cute little mouse is extraordinary. Look at that. Attention to detail is amazing. Oh, and she lives where she can see a pumpkin field. How fantastic is that? Oh, look at this one. And look at the little crocheted lace bonnet. Look at the little frayed edge scarf. Oh, gosh, that is just charming, hon. And a little handmade book. And I love the little outfit has patches on it. How cute. Then here are some needle books she made, sewing books. They are lovely. And I love the little bits of lace and ribbon. This reminds me so much of the beautiful work Linda does, where they take little bits and scraps and turn them into treasure. Now look at this crocheted lace gown that she made for Barbie-sized dolls. Is that amazing? Oh my gosh, I can't imagine. That is simply beautiful. She's a true Renaissance woman. She can do it all. Now look at these drawings and watercolors. Aren't they amazing? Now, I'm not sure, what is your medium there? Are they like an ink pencil, a pencil that you color on and then with a brush, or the colors are so vibrant and pretty. Look at her faces. Oh my gosh. Faces and flowers. Like little treasures, This looks like it was a former page out of something, and now it's a little treasure. Isn't she talented? Let me tell you. Look at this. That's Edward Scissorhands. Isn't that cute? She has a real eye for drawing. Look at this. And I had to look this up, and I think it was a bride of, so now I've forgotten the name, but I had to look it up. I knew I had seen it. And is that a great Johnny Depp or what? Look at these. Oh, I love it. Alice in Wonderland and Morticia, Tim Burton style. How nice to write on there and give credit for the Tim Burton look. But this girl is very talented. Very talented. The original Willy Wonka and Johnny Depp's. Look at all these birds. Look at this. That is amazing. Amazing. So Carol is so very talented. My goodness. I mean, she can do just about anything. And I love her soul vessels. These down here remind me a little bit of Dorset buttons because they're rings with the crochet and then they're crocheted to each other. That's just lovely. All of these are beautiful. Whoops, this not standing straight. Okay, we'll see. All right, beautiful, beautiful. I want to make sure I have the camera to catch it all. All right, now let me see. I'm sure that's not it. Nope, that's the last one, I think. Let me go back and make sure. Yeah, I think we saw them all, but aren't they wonderful? I could see them all again. Okay, that was Carol's and Danielle. Let's see. Oh, yes, I'll show this one more time. Our Danielle. I haven't gone through and edited. That's her son's dog. And that's our Danielle from France. Hi, Danielle. I always like to say hi to her. She has to wait several days to get this show once it's been translated. All right, now, here we go. Luckily, I don't have too many to show you like I did last week. This is my daughter's dog, Polly. The other day, someone pulled out in front of her and she had to slam on the brakes. And poor Polly hit the dashboard pretty hard. So she went today and got her a safety harness. And now Polly can take her trips with her. And there's my daughter. This is my oldest daughter, Rebecca, and me at last week's Evans performance. And there's my grandson, Evan, with me at the band. This was over an hour away. And then this is my granddaughter, Charlie, me, and Mark at her play last night. And she's in makeup and in character. She takes it very seriously. Okay, and then here are this is her and two cast members in the play that they wrote. And this is during practice. So I'm just really, really tickled. Oh, this is my daughter, Katie, who's the felt artist and the sheep herder. And her puppy, Henry, decided that that's right where he needed to lay. So I love that she took that picture. It's so cute. All right, let's see who is next. Whoops, go back to here. Debbie. I love her Halloween work. I love that collage pumpkin and bird. Oh, and look at this one. Just about anybody. I mean, this shows if you want to celebrate fall or Halloween, just grab your stashes of scraps and go for it. Isn't that amazing? And I love how it's a patchwork pumpkin. And look at this beautiful quilt she did. Looks like almost all batiks. And you know, I love batiks. They do sparkle. Thank you, Debbie. So talented. Gosh. Diana B. Okay. Pay attention. You will notice something. Diana B. is designing this year's Christmas block of the week. And I have a feeling you might be able to figure out the theme for this week, for this year. And it's just so cute. And here is a wonderful quilt she's working on. I love using the striped fabric for the binding. And you notice she's kept it pretty straight. I'm impressed. Very impressed. Here is her tiger, almost finished. Isn't that beautiful? I love it. Diana is another very talented person. I love her K-facet fabrics. And I love this Happy Autumn sampler quilt. And this is that K-facet fabric quilt. And don't forget that Polly and I are going to be going together to the Pineapple Warehouse fabric sale. And so of course, we're going to take you with us. So this is from, now hold on just a second. Okay, this is from Dolores. For a moment, that name went right out of my brain. She helps raise monarch butterflies, which are endangered now, sadly. So I love it. Look at that. I forgot to ask her, does she get the larva stage or the pupa stage? And then she releases them out in her yard. And she's an avid gardener, so it's the perfect home for them. If you want to help save monarchs, plant butterfly weed. It's very easy. You see it often by the side of the road, but plant butterfly weed in your yard and help out the monarchs. I love this. She did this as a commissioned portrait. It is amazing. Very talented. This is a doll she made when her daughter went off to college. So cute. So cute. All right. And I think she was showing this. Those jeans were so narrow that pushing them through the legs through, she had what I had happen, which is some of the seams pop open and you try to desperately stitch them back together. So it can be a job. Miss Jody, I love this picture of her final day, ringing the bell of hope, meaning she's finished her chemo and she's going to work on strengthening her heart from the treatment, and hopefully her lumpectomy went well. And I do have Miss Linda's mouse. Is this just the cutest thing? I love this little guy. The expression she caught in his face, and this is just felted wool. Now, there might be, maybe there is a little body form under that, like wire. But isn't he the cutest? Oh, love it. Thank you, Miss Linda. It was a perfect day to show that. And here's Miss Mary's folder. You know, she did a great job of her personal wacky portrait, showing all the things she loves. Her kitty cat. I love her mystery fall quilt. Wonderful. Her husband made the pumpkin. Love that. And look at this wonderful Christmas crazy quilt. Way to go, Miss Mary. I love it. And she had to fussy cut, or did she embroider, all of those cornerstones. And I love the Christmas tree shapes that are stitched in the sashing. Way to go. All right, next is Miss Melanie. Miss Melanie sent us some new wonderful photos of Miss Willow, who is settling in so well. And they are both very devoted to training her in the right way. Well, she is just a doll baby. That is one happy puppy, isn't it? Look at that. You can tell she feels very content and safe in her home. And a well-trained puppy does feel safer. Look at that. I love her fall display out in front of her home. Look at this puppy. Oh, I love that. And I think this is a new photo with the pumpkin because she's a lot bigger looking in this picture. And there she is again. And they have in fact, I wanted to tell you, they have her in a safety seat and a harness. So that's really wonderful. I guess I need to think about that for my Grommet because he loves going with me. And, oh, nope, we've seen these. I need to come in here and edit these. And one more time, seeing Miss Nazzie's fall mystery quilt she did. Wonderful. And hope Miss Nazzie's doing well. And if she watches this, we say hi. So, and here's Mr. Jericho. It's hard to believe now. He's probably 4 weeks old now. Beautiful great-grandson. Way to go. Hopefully they're all doing beautifully. Miss Polly has been very busy, and I love her machine applique. Beautiful work. I love the piecework backgrounds, too. It's so much more interesting. Beautiful, beautiful, Miss Polly. And look at her Color My World quilt that she's doing. That was from the Quilt Show channel. Wonderful. Way to go, Miss Polly. Who else? SL. I hope she's good. I haven't heard from her. I need to keep up with Miss SL. If you're watching, honey, we're thinking of you, hoping things are going well in England and that your drought has been broken or the temperatures are down, because I want y'all to be comfortable again and safe. And so here is a beautiful granny square that she has done with a wonderful surface decoration. All right, I think that, oh, wait a minute, was there anything else? No, I think I got it, I hope. Was there anything else I was going to show you? No, I think we did it. So now what I'm going to do, we have a few minutes left just to relax. Let me get back to you. And I thought I would work on Mark's quilt. And you feel free to ask me any questions. And then while I try to find where I left off, and hope that my needle is still there. Hopefully I put the needle. I don't see it, but hopefully I put it in the pin cushion up by where I do it. I never am quite sure, to be honest with you. Sometimes I tend to be a careless hand sewer. So I'm looking to find a hand needle. Oh, if I use one of these quilting needles, I'll never get it done. So I need to keep looking. Let me see. Okay, here's a little bit better one. All right, so I'm going to thread it with the dark blue thread to match the binding. I always match the binding when I hand sew it down. All right, thank you for those pictures, everybody. And Cheryl, I hope you're still creating, and let's stay in touch because I do want to come up and have lunch with you. I'm going to treat you to lunch, girl. And now that I'm actually getting out, we went to Williamsburg 2 weeks ago, and it was wonderful. We hadn't been to a hotel in years. So now we've been fully boosted. And oh, gosh, I know I harp on this boosting stuff, and you probably are fed up with me for it, but please listen. There is a variant that they're finding, this variant is not responding to the treatments. But the good news is the latest variant booster is very effective against it. And anyone who's had recent, that sun was coming through the blinds onto my face. Oh, there we go. But anyway, they're finding that the new booster is working beautifully. And in fact, Mark went to the doctor, and his doctor said her daughter came home with it because she hadn't been keeping up with her boosters. And she ended up taking care of her daughter and did not get it because she had been recently boosted. They say that the newest Pfizer booster is very effective. It's showing great promise in building immunity. So anyway, now I'll just be quiet. Get your flu shot too, because we're all getting back out there. Poor little babies. I read the other day that in the Washington, D.C. area, all the pediatric hospital beds are full. They've got people in the emergency room because there are no beds for them. This RSV virus is going around terribly. It used to be a virus you only had to worry about with premature babies. But because we've been locked down and things are just opening back up for whatever reason, children are getting very sick with it. So please do everything you can to be safe. And honestly, I'll say it one more time. Going in and getting a free flu shot, getting a free COVID shot, you don't have to pay for it. It's all free. And getting that, then you don't have to worry. You know you've done the very best you could. So, I love Dr. Fauci, and I watched him on Stephen Colbert's show go get his immunization right on camera. I loved it. All right. When they went in, they asked the pharmacist, "Are you nervous giving Dr. Fauci and his booster on camera?" He said, "No, I've done more famous people than him." He wouldn't reveal, though. He said, "No, that's medical secrecy respect." All right. So what I'm going to do, take care, Miss Polly. Oh, yes, please. If you want to join the group, we got a new member who just found us Thursday, and Nancy, and we are very excited about her being there. All right. My little clips that I normally use to hold the binding in place are upstairs, and I forgot them. So I just quickly pin this. And I hate pins because they stick you. But I'm going to bury my needle in under here. And I'm just using one strand on this. And so what I'm going to do is I go under. See how I go under that part. Come up, grab just a little bite here. Let me bring the light over closer. Whoa! I am not doing a good job on this knob. Let me try. I think this knob only likes men because it works perfectly for Mark, but not me. Come on, please. Oh, no, it's going to sink into the west probably. All right. So y'all know how to do this, but I always like, just in case, but you just travel in this area right in here, making sure, oops, see right there? I started to come through the back. You don't want that because then you would have a blue stitch showing. Try to stay pretty close to the original sewing line that you did on the front with the binding. And just come up right there, then go straight back down and go through, come back up. And this is all it is. And it's very invisible if you do it right, because you want to make sure that no blue thread comes through there. And this is so peaceful because it doesn't take a lot of thinking. It just takes making sure that the needle is in that layer and the batting not through to the other side. There. So any questions you have? Oh, thank you, Miss Cheryl. Thank you. If you have any questions, please give them to me, and I'll try to answer them. And if not, as you fade away into the rest of your Sunday, I send you all good wishes. Do something special just for you. And whatever that may be, enjoy the beautiful outdoors. Take very good care of yourself. Yes, this quilting on this quilt is machine quilted. I have an old first generation long arm that I use. So I do it by machine. I also do hand quilting. And I've got a quilt upstairs that sometimes I work on in the evening that's being hand quilted. And if you would like to join us, Miss Art Curious, please feel free to send me an email at the OurTimeToQuilt at twc.com, and you could join our group and chat with us. But it was so nice having you here today. We love new people stopping by. Oh, thank you, Miss Carol. So amazing. So amazing. But I like doing this because I can put my feet up, put a favorite show, TV show, or movie on, and just shut my brain down and let my hands lead the way. And you can see that you want no stitches to show here, no stitches to show through there. I have tried doing the binding on by machine, and I'm horrible at it. No matter what I do, I miss. You wish you could quilt. Oh, is it possible for you to learn, or does something else get in your way? Because we could easily teach you to quilt, sweetie. But sometimes there's so many things to be interested in. I've been lately, oh yeah, I do a little bit of everything here because you know what? I'm lucky enough to be similar to Carol, not quite as talented as her, but I love a little bit of everything. I told Mark the other day that I wanted to pull out my bobbin lace pillow. Okay, we can teach you to quilt so easily. You don't worry. In fact, I'm going to get ready. I've been talking about it for a couple of months. I want to make some called skill snips, so that they're short little videos that show a certain skill, and that way people can learn the skills without too much bother. But this, believe it or not, this hand binding is probably going to take me about 10 hours because this is a huge quilt. And but it's worth it because it's very rare to get Mark to say, boy, I'd like that. You crochet. Oh, I love those things. All different kinds of animal characters and things. I love that. I would love it if you would send us some pictures of your work that we can show here on Sunday. That would be wonderful. I'm the type of person, I love any kind of handicraft, any kind of art. I love when people show their joy through whatever they wish to make. My granddaughter does cosplay. It's all good. It is all, oops, I see that I barely nicked the front with that blue thread. But you know what? I'm not going to worry about it. I'm just going to keep going and just tell myself, be careful. Don't go too deep. But this quilt will never be entered in a quilt show, but it is going to be the most special quilt I've ever made because it's for someone I love, and that's important. All right. Any other questions? You even hand-carved your own bobbins. You do bobbin lace, Carol? You are something else. Carol, I tell you what, maybe I'll bring my bobbin pillow. I would love to see your hand-carved bobbins. But maybe I can, oh man, Carol, I don't think you live close to me, but I sure wish you did, because I want to get better at bobbin lace making. I haven't touched it for 3 to 4 years, and I miss it. So I will bring my supplies down here next week. And oh my gosh, maybe Carol, you can send me pictures, sweetie, of your hand carved bobbins or anything you've made. I love all hand arts. The other day I was watching a show on one of my British channels called Move to the Country. And yes, we have so much in common. But I'm in North Carolina, and I don't think you are. Darn it. But it was set in England, and they took a trip to Dorset to look for a house. And she went to the Dorset Button Museum. And I told Mark, oh my gosh, I want to make some more Dorset buttons too. I love handcrafts. What's fun for me too is to take and make something out of a common, ordinary thing around the house, something I didn't spend a lot of money on. I find it so thrilling. It's so funny. When I made the doll's heads out of polymer clay, I used crumpled aluminum foil inside the doll's head. So the other night, Mark went to cook dinner and was like, where's the aluminum foil? Oh, 15,000 kilometers. Oh, my goodness. Oh, boy, that would just be so much fun. I plan one day, hopefully, that we can have some kind of little get-together of the group. And I've talked about where should we meet? Maybe Missouri Star Quilt stores, and I don't know, but I would love it if everybody could get together. So, man, you know what? It's a great way to bind by just chatting. I have done 2 feet of binding just in this last few minutes. So how about that? No wonder ladies used to love having quilt bees, because just sitting and talking and enjoying yourself is a very relaxing and fast way to get the job done. You're in Israel. Oh, that's wonderful. Welcome, hon. That's fantastic. I knew you were somewhere outside the country because you were using kilometers. That's really awesome. Well, welcome, sweetie. You like movies that are about quilting. And Alex Anderson does a Monday, Wednesday, and Friday on the Quilt Show channel. She does her own videos, and I love them very much. All right, I've got about 2 inches on this stretch, and then I'll say goodbye. But I thank you all for sticking around, and there's our Mary too. What a wonderful world it is. And let's enjoy it, because this is not a dress rehearsal. This is our only go around. So any way I can help you learn quilting, Art Curious, you let me know. You've got my email address. And I know that I don't think there's a big quilting movement in Israel, but maybe you can be the first person to start it. And that is wonderful. So any way we can help, I will. It's very easy and very satisfying to just take fabric and cut it up and make your own original design, and then have it be useful as something you can snuggle underneath is quite nice. But we do just about anything and everything here. All right, I'm going to cut these threads. And that was a nice way to get 2.5 feet of binding done. Very, very nice. Thank you, ladies, for keeping me company while I did it. And it's just, whoops, just that easy to do. So thank you very much. Let me bring the camera back up. All right. Woo, get that light out of my eyeballs. All right, everyone. Jody, love you, girl. I hope you're feeling okay. I hope you're resting and taking it easy because you deserve it. The Queen of Sheba treatment for Miss Jody. All right, everybody. Take good care of yourself. It was so good to see all of you. And I'll be on Thursday night with our art quilt. And next Sunday, I will be back. Bye-bye, everyone. Stay safe. Take good. Oh, there's Diana B. We were talking about you. So Diana B's got something really great that she's working on for us. All right, everybody. Have a great week. Do something good just for you. Can't take care of others unless you take care of yourself first. Bye, Terry.